Hey, this is going to be an animated book review of the book Decisive, How to Make Better Choices in Life and Work by Chip Heath and Dan Heath. They're actually brothers. And they start off the book by saying that there's 4 villains that people normally meet when they are making a decision. And the first one is narrow framing. Now basically this is saying that you shouldn't be strictly limited to this or that. In fact, he found that most decisions are whether or not decisions. Whether or not I should buy this, whether or not I should do this. Instead of deciding between 2 things, see if you can get both of the things. Instead of this or that, try this and that. You should start by widening your options. He gives an example of some guy buying a stereo, and an employee comes over and helps him pick out the stereo. And the employee advises him, he says, should you buy this $700 stereo and $300 worth of music? Or should you buy a $1,000 stereo and then not have much money for music? So, by showing him the opportunity cost of his options, the customer was able to make a better decision. And this is something that we fail to look at when we are in the narrow framing mindset. We need to look at the opportunity cost. So villain 1 is narrow framing, and the way to beat villain 1 is to look at the opportunity cost. The 4th villain is the confirmation bias. And the Heath brothers give an example of an interview between a patient and a doctor. By the end of the interview between the doctor and the patient, the doctor had already come up with an assumption that he thought the patient had, a diagnosis. However, at the very beginning he thought he had it, and every question he asked supported his answer. And he completely overlooked other possibilities. And this is basically the confirmation bias, that you are more likely to find information, or you're more likely to select out information that supports your pre-existing attitudes or opinions. And they give another example of this like in relationships or marriages, that many of these mindsets are self-serving. If you think that your spouse has been acting negatively, you're going to start looking for stuff that they do that is negative. And he suggests keeping a marriage diary and only writing in this marriage diary whenever they do something that you like or something that they do is positive. That way you start looking for positive things. And this is the second villain, which is the confirmation bias. Basically it says that you're going to look for information that supports what you think. And it goes hand in hand with narrow framing. You need to open up your mind. Now the next villain, villain 3, is short-term emotion. And we've all faced this. Anger, we've faced love. And basically it's saying that every day you're going to have a different opinion on something because of your emotions. Or even at different hours of the day. He says the best advice that he can give you is for asking advice of other people. That way they don't feel your emotions, and maybe they'll be able to make a better decision than you would. If you are in a bout of anger, or if you are infatuated in love. So he says that you need to try to distance yourself before making a large decision, for the short-term emotion villain could come in and wreck your decision. Now the last villain is overconfidence. And he says that when people make a decision, they stick with it. And you need to be prepared to be wrong. You should always check your decisions a year later, especially major decisions. You need to check them and see what the outcome is. That way you can learn from your decisions. You need to prepare yourself for success and failure. You need to know that sometimes the decisions you make are going to end up badly. And there was a company that did this on purpose so that they could learn from their mistakes. So they could learn how to jump back from failure faster. He also says that for defeating the overconfidence villain, you need to set limits. Especially investing. Let's say there's a business deal and the guy wants to go $100,000. But you've set a personal limit of yourself for $50,000. And because you've set this limit, you will not go over it. And this helps you defeat the overconfidence villain. So we're going to go back over it. The first villain is narrow framing, and to beat this, you need to widen your options. The second villain is the confirmation bias. And by this, you need to reality test your assumptions and make sure that you're not looking for just information that supports your opinion. Villain 3 is short-term emotion, and to defeat this villain, you need to distance yourself before deciding something. And the last villain is overconfidence, and you need to prepare to be wrong to defeat this villain. Now, there are many little examples that they offer in this book, and I suggest buying it as opposed to just watching this video, because you will get much out of it if you understand little stories and stuff. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I hope you learned something. If you liked it, subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.